In a quiet Japanese tank, biologists watched something impossible. A dying jellyfish slowly, deliberately growing young again. It happened once, then again, then 11 times over 2 years, as if death simply refused to stick. Scientists nicknamed it the Benjamin Button jellyfish, because this tiny creature can effectively run its own aging backwards. Its real name is Turritopsis dohrnii, a hydrozoan named in 1883 after the naturalist Anton Dohrn. Do not picture a monster. The adult bell is at most about 4.5 millimeters wide. That is smaller than your pinky fingernail, a speck of living glass drifting through the warm Mediterranean. A young medusa starts around 1 millimeter with 8 tentacles. Adults can sprout roughly 80 to 90. For over a century, nobody suspected the astonishing secret hiding inside this fragile, almost invisible ocean drifter. Here is the eerie part. Watch closely when this jellyfish is pushed toward the very edge of survival. Starve it, injure it, shock it with heat or salt, or simply let it grow old. The stressed adult stops swimming, its bell contracts, and it collapses into a small blob on the seafloor. Any other jellyfish would be finished, dissolving quietly into the sediment. Another meal returned to the ocean. But this blob does something else entirely. It hardens into a cyst, then grows into a polyp. The polyp is basically a younger version of itself, an earlier life stage it already passed through. The engine behind this is transdifferentiation, where fully mature, specialized cells transform directly into completely different cell types. Imagine your skin cells suddenly deciding to become muscle or nerve. That is how rare this reset is. The whole reversal can finish in roughly 24 to 36 hours, a lifetime rewound in barely a day. From that polyp, the animal buds off new young medusae, genetically identical clones of the original jellyfish. In principle, this loop can repeat over and over so the animal may never die of old age. Biologists call it biologically non-senescent, meaning it does not grow old and weak the way we do. Now here is the honest catch, the detail that breathless immortality headlines almost always leave out. It is not truly immortal. Most individuals are still eaten by predators or killed off by disease. It cheats aging, not death. The word immortal is hyperbole for a creature that can still be devoured. So how did anyone even notice this? The discovery, fittingly, happened almost completely by accident in the 80s. Students Christian Sommer and Giorgio Bavistrello collected some polyps in the 1980s for an ordinary research project. To everyone's surprise, those samples revealed a life cycle that had quietly run in reverse. That bidirectional reversal was formally documented by Bavistrello, Sommer, and Serra in 1992, and biology took notice. Then one researcher turned fascination into obsession. Shin Kubota of Kyoto University devoted years to these creatures. He is best known for keeping fragile colonies alive long-term, tending them by hand with astonishing patience. He watched a single specimen rejuvenate about 11 times in 2 years, sometimes only a month apart. Kubota grew so devoted that he actually writes and sings karaoke songs celebrating his beloved immortal jellyfish. While scientists studied it, the jellyfish was quietly doing something ambitious of its own across the planet. It has spread through the world's oceans by hitching rides inside the ballast water of cargo ships. Its tough polyp form survives long voyages, letting it colonize distant coasts most travelers could never reach. Smithsonian researcher Maria Miglietta memorably described this stealthy spread as a worldwide silent invasion of the seas. Populations from Japan, Panama, Florida, Spain, and Italy turn out to be genetically almost identical to one another. They differ by only about 0.31% in one marker gene, one lineage quietly everywhere. To understand its secret, scientists finally had to crack open the instruction manual written in its DNA. In 2022, Maria Pascual-Torner and Carlos Lopez-Oten at the University of Oviedo sequenced its first complete genome. Published in the journal PNAS, they compared it against a non-immortal cousin, the jellyfish Turritopsis rubra. The immortal one carried about double the copies of genes for DNA repair and protection against cellular damage. It also held extra telomere maintenance genes plus special variants controlling cell division and stem cell pluripotency states. During its reversal, it silences a control system called PRC2 and switches its dormant pluripotency genes back on. In effect, it reprograms its own cells, echoing how lab scientists reprogram stem cells back to a blank state. A 2025 study went further, mapping the genetic networks behind its regeneration, cell plasticity, and remarkable longevity. It is probably no longer the only animal that reverses development. Some comb jellies may do something similar. Still, this tiny drifter remains the most famous example, our clearest window into a body that resists aging. So what does a 4-millimeter animal mean for us? An unimaginably vast machine of 37 trillion cells. Researchers study it as a living model of aging, but stress it is no fountain of youth for humans. There is no anti-aging cure hiding inside it yet, but this tiny drifter proves aging story is far from finished.